Welcome to the Spirit Talk Show. This is the 4th installment, and I welcome you all to the spiritual adventures of Sandra Embleton as we find these spirits on the planet that carry that light of Christ. And you are going to be in for a real treat today, because on the show I have a wonderful, beautiful, amazing woman. Her name is Vanessa Ferraro, and she is so instrumental to this entire plan that God has put in motion for the benefit of all of mankind. Vanessa's an absolutely amazing girl. How I met up with her was my son Michael went to the Landmark Forum in Toronto, where he made acquaintance with this amazing, amazing girl. And when she came to me, I recognized in her an energy that I knew she was one of the 500 and that she had to sign the book. So after she had signed the book, something absolutely phenomenal started to happen with her. She became like a conduit, or I guess I want to say a socket, where the 500 began to plug into. In other words, she started finding a lot of the 500 and bringing them to me to sign the book. I have to say that out of what's a normal occurrence is often when I find a 500 member and they do sign the book, then they'll say, well, so-and-so should come and so-and-so should sign. And they might bring 1 or 2 people to me or whatever, because, well, actually the reason is because I believe, like, we have tried this before. We had tried to gather the 500 in this book at the time of Knights of the Round Table, King Arthur, Merlin the Magician, the Holy Grail, Knights Templar, that time in history where the veil grew very, very thin, and that we were able to experience magic and miracles. And that was the time we tried to bring together all the pieces of the Christ. And we had lost the book. And were unable at that time in history to assemble the 500. Not like this time. This time we will achieve that goal. We will find all those 500 souls on the planet that carry the pieces of the Christ. I've had this been told to me again and again by many spiritual people and also people who have signed. So I'm very confident we'll get on, find and seek out all the 500 and that they will be signing this book. So this particular time, I think what happens is someone signs the book and then they go, oh yeah, well, I think so-and-so should sign it too. And I'm believing that at the time when this book was first signed, people lived in burbs and little villages, remote villages. And if this book was being passed around and the 500 were being sought after, it would make sense that you go to a village and a few people there might be carrying the Christ energy and they would know each other and they'd sign. So it makes sense that this lifetime, this incarnation, when they sign it, they'll think of people who are also in the village or the area that they were in that also signs. It can explain why people do automatically hear names and say, I think so-and-so should sign Sandra. You need, or they'll say to their friends, you need to meet Sandra Embleton, and they'll come. So with Vanessa, what's extraordinary is that she has brought to me so many people. It's absolutely amazing. So I'd like to bring her on the show today because her transformation as a result of being in this frequency is amazing. So we're going to share that story. So I'll welcome Vanessa. Welcome, Vanessa, to the Spirit Talk Show. We're honored by your presence today. Thank you. Finally, after experiencing me filming other people on the Spirit Talk Show, it's your turn. And why it's your turn today is just the recognition and the honor that Spirit would like to lay upon you for the great service you're doing for mankind. I've known you now for how long?
7 years.
7 years. Mm-hmm. And after you met my son at Landmark, he brought you home and you signed the book.
Yes.
Vanessa's been like my spiritual daughter. And I have witnessed her evolving in that time. And what is remarkable is how Vanessa has walked the walk of moving from doubt and skepticism about this phenomenon that's actually occurring on the planet, and moving more into acceptance and the realization that this is actually happening. Maybe you could share a little bit with us, Vanessa, how that has impacted you, being instrumental in God's plan for the planet. How has that affected you?
In many, many ways. Yeah.
Because you were sharing that when you first started gathering people and bringing people here, you had your doubts.
Yeah. So the first time I heard the story, your story and your mission and what you were put on earth to do, I remember sitting in your living room hearing you share, with everybody. And I remember hearing a voice inside of me saying like, oh, I hope I get to sign the book. I hope she's going to tell me that I meant to sign the book. And I didn't want to be attached to it if it wasn't meant to be and make it mean something bad or wrong about me. So I was excited and anxious and nervous, but at the same time, I just wanted to listen and see what happened. And then when you did come to me and you did say, you are meant to sign this book, it was a really profound moment for me in my life, because I felt it was an acknowledgement from God that this feeling, this sensation that I've had since I was very young was true, and that there was more to me than just my physical or my circumstances or my life story this time around. So it was a huge, huge moment for me. And I remember sitting at your dining room table by myself with the book and signing it and saying, I'm never going to seek validation from anything else than with you, God, right? My conversation with that energy. And then life continued and it went on, and the changes were subtle. And as I was continuing my life and doing what I was doing, nothing very different from before, I would start hearing very clear, distinctive thoughts when I would meet certain people, like, this person needs to meet Sandra.
Tell us about the time when you brought Gav and the other fella, and you're in a bar, and you're in a bar, and you meet the one in the bar, and then you phone me, and as you're on the phone with me saying you've got somebody,
yes,
and that you're trying to find the other guy, he walks in, right?
Yeah, that was crazy. I've had tons of moments like that in the most, I guess, unassuming circumstances and places, like at nightclubs in the middle of a bar, and you can't hear each other talk, and everybody's drinking and having fun, and it doesn't really create the space for those types of conversations. And I had a conversation with someone, and all I kept hearing was Sandra, 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 and I'm like, do you want to meet my friend? Without really explaining why. And that was phenomenal, because when he left, he actually turned to us and said, I've had dreams of your front door.
Yeah. That was the most amazing of all the signatures we got. This man, she finds him in Toronto, drives him out to my house. He walks in, he says nothing. Nothing
at all.
Sits at my kitchen table, signs the book, and I'm sitting there, okay, like, not giving me anything. No validation, nothing. And then the next thing you know, he's walking out the door. He stops, he turns and looks at me, and he says, I've been dreaming about your door and your walkway in my dreams. I know I'm in the right place. Yeah. And that was awesome.
That was quite a moment.
That was really awesome. But what's phenomenal is, of late, really, you seem to be gathering larger groups of people. And we've had several gatherings in the last couple months here.
Yes, absolutely.
Where really it almost feels like impetus, it's picking up.
Yes.
The amount of people, because well, let's just talk about the tribe.
Yes.
They're just an amazing group of individuals.
Yes.
And where did you find them?
So, you had spoken about this, you spoke to this earlier in the conversation, that I had been dealing with a lot of doubt around this story, this experience, and other,
whether to believe it or not.
Yeah, and other spiritual happenings that occurred around me. And the more I gave up the doubt and the fear and really came into the acceptance of this is a truth for someone and listen to it with the possibility of it being true and see how it feels and resonates.
And why are you in the middle of it?
Yeah.
Like, why are you in the middle of it?
I couldn't get it really. But you actually brought me, you are my spiritual mom. Like, you have led me to so many sources of inspiration and transformation for myself and my life, and I'm so grateful for you. I have no idea where I'd be without you. And I really went through a transition October, November, like a very profound moment where I really was able to separate myself, like the source energy of who I am, from Vanessa and who she is. And in that opening, there was nothing really. There was just like this space of nothingness that I was blissed out on, really. And I really gave it up to God, like to the universe, to the divine, like, do what you will with me. Like, I just want to live to experience this more.
That's a big step when you give up control.
Yes.
That's a huge step.
I'm still learning.
Because when you give up control and you submit your life, it's like anything can happen.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, amazing things started to happen, and you started to open up spiritually. Like,
Yes.
really started to
Big time.
allow that spirit and the energy of spirit to start guiding your life.
Yeah.
And it's a struggle. It's not
Can
easy, because the hardest thing we all deal with when we walk that world of the spirit with one leg in the physical is, how do I manage my life? How do I make money? How do I create a living so I can live in the world of the physical? But yet I want to know the world of the spirit. I want to find out about the kingdom.
Yeah.
I want to go there.
Yeah.
And what is the truth is that there's laws for the physical world and laws for the spiritual world. And the journey is about coming into that one relationship with Creator,
Yes.
God's source, and how to begin to learn the laws and the language of the spirit, of the spiritual kingdom.
Yeah.
And I watch you struggle with this. I watch you move, and am watching you move from that really tight, this is physical, I can grasp it, I can get my food, this is my job, I'm living in the physical, what do I do now? And then making the transition to, oh my God, this is happening. Oh my God, this is happening. Because you're allowing, like, the doubt still comes.
Yes.
You still hear, oh, this is stupid. This is ridiculous. I can't believe this. Because you still hear the voice. So it's there. But something more is moving in. And I believe it's God's Spirit moving in. And it's helping you to understand, oh my God, I'm this being. And I'm finding myself in the middle of a miracle. And I really don't know what I'm doing here. And I see you struggle with that.
Yeah.
And what I want to say to you, and I guess I'm saying this because, Vanessa, your story is so much like everyone's story. Because we come to a certain point in our life and we have so many questions, and you are so good at asking questions. You are so accomplished. You're a forum leader at Landmark. You are an amazing, talented singer. You've traveled all over the world. I know in your heart, and I know God sees it, you just want to help. You just want to help everybody get to where they're going to go. And because of that heart, because of who you are, you're an amazing, amazing, amazing woman, an amazingly important and intricate part of this entire story. And we all owe you a debt of gratitude, because you have brought so many people through this door, and they have been able to sign this book and move mankind that much closer to seeing what's going to happen when we actually get all the 500 signatures.
Yeah. The tribe.
Yes, yeah. Exactly.
That is big.
Big group of individuals. Yeah. They come and they sign the book, and after everybody leaves, after signing the book, it's an acknowledgement. Like, that whole group of people ended up being one family that existed at the time of Christ.
Yeah.
And Lucas and Eric were buddies of Jesus.
Yeah.
And used to hang out with them.
Yeah.
And cool. Lie down in the hills at night and count the stars and share secrets. And then to be reunited again as all one family in this house. You guys then went forward and established, like, you have a home in Toronto.
Yeah.
And that light was immediately validated by somebody who came into the room, like that night you signed.
Yeah.
And then said something like, I can't believe where one of you begins and the other, like, leaves off or something.
Yeah. So the tribe, in choosing to let go of the doubt and fear and really live curiously through spirit, on New Year's Eve, I went to an ashram and did Kundalini yoga and hung out with a bunch of spiritual people that I didn't really identify with, but that I wanted to be a part of this community. And that's where I met various different people, and literally fell in love with all of them. And we just connected in such a way, and we ended up spending all this time together. And then very quickly, I'm like, I need to bring these people to meet Sandra. Like, they're definitely meant to sign the book. And we came to the home and we signed the book, and it was a magical moment in all of our lives, because the coming together, you know, people get attracted into your life and you have no idea why sometimes. But that was such an acknowledgement, like, we're meant to carry this energy and carry this love, carry this out into the world. And we went to a yoga studio, I remember, and there was a gentleman sitting there, and he has a gift of seeing auras and sensing energy. And he said, when I close my eyes, I cannot tell how many people are in the room. You guys are so one. There's only like one color, there's only one energy, one frequency, and I have never experienced this before in my life.
And I wanted to share that since you signed the book, people are making their way to you.
Yes.
And you're healing as a group in Toronto.
Yes.
Now, I know you also have plans for taking that group and perhaps moving and taking it to Hawaii.
Yes.
Now, I'm not sure if that's going to unfold as of yet, but it is something that you're feeling is out there.
Yes.
But in the meantime, you have quite an energy that perhaps is really needed in Toronto. So perhaps people that are seeking out that Christ energy will be able to find you on Facebook or reach out in some way.
Absolutely. I hope so.
To come into contact with the tribe. So Vanessa Ferraro.
Yeah, so it's Vanessa Ferraro. There's Ferraro. And the tribe is a combination of 7 Reiki healers. So we all do Reiki, and some of us are yoga masters, some of us are breathing masters, some of us are holistic nutritionists. So we all work together as a tribe.
But your commonality is that
the healing, and that we all carry the Christ energy, and we
Yes.
acknowledge that. We don't just know it, we acknowledge it, we live it, and we bring it into every conversation and interaction with the people that we meet out in the world.
And that is a powerful, powerful force in your life.
Yes.
And it is transmuting your lives, and you're blessing all of mankind with that. So Vanessa, I just wanted to bring the book to you once again. You signed it so long ago, and I just wanted you to remember where you signed it.
I vaguely remember. I'm sure I could find it somewhere in the middle.
Page?
Right here. There it is.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just had a feeling as we started to shoot this thing, that is there anything else you want to put on that at this point? Or you're fine with that?
I mean, I can definitely... I've had the thought before, because it was such a long time ago. And then I thought I just was trying to be special. So I was like, no, it's fine.
You are special.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I'd love to write again.
I just feel, all I'm hearing is the words, here I am.
And
Here I am. That's all I'm hearing. And I think, in all fairness, like, for Vanessa, usually when people come on and I say, this is who you were at the time of Christ, you and I have had a bit of a turn on that. And so for those people watching who are wondering how I arrive at who people were at the time of Christ, I'm told. But we've had a little bit of back and forth with you. First there was a bit of the Mary Magdalene energy, and then there was a feeling that you belonged in King Herod's family, and that you were a wife of one of the of Herod, or Herod's brother.
Yes,
right?
something like that,
I don't know. I have a funny feeling you were an Arabian princess that was first wife to Herod, which would make sense because she is best friends with my son Mike, who's King Herod from the time of Christ, and we'd love them to get together, but that hasn't happened. So whether history's repeating itself, but I just wanted to invite you to, if there's anything else you wanted to say, to jot it down or whatever.
Yeah.
But
sure.
Just welcoming so much your energy and your effort, and really today's show, the Spirit Talk Show, is just wanting to honor the energy of Vanessa and her contribution, and she continues to do this. She's like a magnet to those people who are meant to come forward and to sign this miraculous book and make this this dream or this hope, the official hope of the world, you know, something for us all to believe in again, that God's got our back. I know we all think, well, what's all happening in the world and what's it going to come to? I believe this plan is a pretty good plan. It's something that's not just about me, it's about other people that are contributing.
And our evolution towards bringing, you know, heaven to earth and having that experience here on earth. And you mentioned Landmark, right? I'm not a forum leader at Landmark. Maybe you created that possibility.
Well, you're a leader.
But yeah, I'm definitely, I practice it. And then I have other books and sources that you've given me, such as, you know, like Urantia, Book of Light. There's so many sources out there. So just...
And you're off on a new project. You're trying to bring yoga and mindfulness into our school system. So we're going to invite people to go on. What's the site?
It's called Project Mindful Canada.
Project Mindful Canada.
And we bring breathing and mindfulness exercises and practices along with stretching, such as mindful yoga, into workplaces, nursing homes for long-term care, and Toronto District School Board.
Yeah, that is a huge step. We will all focus our light and love on your efforts.
Absolutely.
And wish you the best, because there's nothing more important than bringing awareness to our young children and helping them to be better individuals by allowing mindfulness to make a difference in their life.
Yes.
So anyway, Vanessa, we want to thank you for being our guest today, and we wish you luck.
Thank you.
And we will continue to report to you about our progress in collecting the 500.
Yes.
And who knows, maybe Vanessa will be on again.
Yeah, hopefully.
So thank you, everyone, and we'll talk to you again soon.